Alright boys, it is March 1941 and we made Austria. Absolutely insane. This is what we control directly or indirectly through our puppets. Of course, this means that our trade will not be a problem anymore for the rest of the game. 835 factories. Considering where we started, it's quite insane how powerful Austria can become. And the amazing thing about Fascist Austria is we have a lot more potential. We can defeat RNG by just justifying claims. We can keep justifying claims later on. And all of the puppets we get start as integrated puppets, which is absolutely amazing. So the non-aligned version of this guide would get a lot less from all of these puppets. This is as powerful as you can make Austria. Or is it? Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Unfortunately, as you may know, Paradox recently messed up a little bit my Habsburg Austria guide. I came up with some fixes which I covered in my latest country guides update, so make sure to check that out. But ultimately the best fix to all issues is to just go fascist, as always. So in today's video I will show you a highly optimized strategy to defeat even RNG. We will take full advantage of the Austrian focus tree and special decisions. We will defeat and core all of Germany to prove that we are indeed the better German state. If that sounds interesting, then this is the right video for you. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask in the comments and make sure to join our Discord to meet our amazing community. And of course guys, as always, if you enjoy the content I make, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing and leaving a comment. You can type anything, it always helps. But that's all for the introduction, so let's get started. As always guys, you can find all researches and focuses in the description of the video, so they will not be covered in the guide itself. And you can get access to the dedicated spreadsheet by purchasing a tier 2 membership to the channel. This is our initial building priority and military production priority. We're going to gather and train our army. Not that we can do much with it. And very important, before we start the run, we are going to create an agency. Similarly to Habsburg Austria, we're going to use spies a lot in the early stages of the run. The setup is already done, so we can start at full speed. When you get this message, you can just let it expire. It will automatically pick how awful, which is the choice we want anyway. You will also get a spy. Let's get this guy and let's start immediately putting diplomatic pressure on Hungary. At 150 political power, we are going to pick the silent workhorse. We need as much political power as possible in this run. Now, there is a little bit of RNG as to this event. We want to pick absolutely not, and then usually the Germans insist. And you pick there is a reason they pressure us, so you lose a total of 150 political power. Sometimes you are lucky and they don't insist, so you don't get this second event and you will have 100 more political power. There is also a bit of RNG as to what happens when you complete this focus. Ideally they will all refuse and we will get some war support in return. Okay, France refused, that's good. The United States refused and the UK refused. Perfect, so we get a total of 15% extra war support, which is very nice. As soon as we complete this focus, we can finally change our armies. What we want to do is we want to recruit the max amount of Alpini divisions and then the max amount of cavalry divisions. We also want to start improving relations with Hungary, and we want to start getting all of these pacts, starting with the non-aggression pact, which is the most impactful one, but then also get all other ones. The infantry equip MIO. And then as soon as you complete this focus, we're going to unlock some new special decisions with Hungary. If you got the non-aggression pact, you will have the military exercises here. So to make it 100% consistent and make sure they always accept our annexation demand, we are going to start with the military exercises. And as soon as that is done, regardless of the outcome, we are going to pick annex the Kingdom of Hungary, and we're also going to force deploy immediately all of our mountaineers. So you should be able to force deploy 3 of them. Here it says very likely or likely, but it's actually 100% guaranteed in my experience. Let's see what happens. There we go. So we annex Austria for free, and that's great news already. We're going to change the occupation law to local police force and cavalry. We use the cheapest cavalry, this one here. We can also rename it now. This will be our garrison cavalry. This will be our cav, alp, and inf. We're not going to use these other ones, so we can decommission them. We also want to send our spy on diplomatic pressure in Czechoslovakia, and we want to start improving relations with them too. For what concerns the new divisions we got, we're going to merge them together and we're going to start training all of them. Now, as soon as we complete this focus, we get once again these new special decisions with Czechoslovakia, but this time we are going straight for annex the Czechoslovak Republic. Now, the only important thing is that before this is done, it takes 30 days, you want to get a non-aggression pact with them, which should be possible with the improved relations and with the spy. So there we go, non-aggression pact, let's get it, and then deploy right away all of the units that we can deploy. And once again, the combination of all of these factors should make it certain that Czechoslovakia accepts. At least that's what happened in all of my runs. If it doesn't happen in your run, there might still be some RNG. Just keep in mind that reloading the game will not change the outcome. So you need to restart from the beginning. And ideally, you also need to restart your game, because sometimes these kind of events are in the seed of the run until you restart the game. Okay, now we are going to start building military factories in the 100% provinces first, then in all of the 80% provinces as well. We're going to make some changes to our production. So this is the new production priority. We're going to move our spy to put pressure on Poland this time, and we're also going to improve relations with Poland. And we're going to rearrange our army a little bit. We want all mountaineers together, it should be a total of 10. Then we want all cavalry to be together, it should be a total of 21. We want 24, so we're going to cancel recruits, but we are going to keep enough to get to a total of 24. Then we're going to keep 24 info, the other ones can be together with the mountaineers, and these ones we're going to change all of them to the standard infantry template. We're then going to deploy all of the planes we have available, and we're going to start training them. Now we can assign all of these armies to a marshal and train all of them, shift click all the way up to regular. But now you can give them a fallback line so they don't suffer from attrition. As soon as you complete this focus, you can start the annexation of Poland as well. We are improving relations already and we should be able to get a non-aggression pact around this time. If you still have some divisions training, force deploy them as well. We have one for which we lack manpower, but other than that, it's okay. We're going to get a lot of cores and manpower with this focus anyway. And now the timing is perfect because Japan just started the war on China. So we want to justify on Yugoslavia at this precise time. This is the main difference so far between the Habsburg non-aligned version of this guide and this one. Being fascist, we are allowed to justify war goals and remove completely the RNG with Yugoslavia and Romania. We just get our own claims. Make sure that the timing is right. It should cost 45 political power and take 225 days. Let's go. Let's see what Poland does, and Poland always accepts in my experience, so look at us, we already became quite beefy without firing a single bullet. At 150 political power, we are going to pick war economy. And this is of course another great advantage of being fascist. Now this is also a good time to start getting ready for the upcoming wars, of course on Yugoslavia and Romania. So we're going to use the main infantry army at the border with Yugoslavia. Give them an offensive line like this, but the important thing in this war will be the cavalry, which will be rushing victory points. We also assign the cavalry the same front line, the same offensive line, but then we will need to micro them to make the war very fast. As for the remaining divisions, it should be around 13. You can send them at the border with Romania. You can give them an offensive line, although initially they will only defend and actually struggle quite a bit with defending. That's okay. Let's get this amazing marshal, really OP. Give them the highest motorization priority, aggressively execute battle plans. Let's pick some of the traits, especially the infantry expert one is very important. Let's also assign all planes to the infantry army and make sure everybody's training. And as soon as you complete this focus, you should have enough political power to pick limited conscription. At this point, you should also be able to deploy the last cavalry division. As soon as possible, when you have enough army experience, the timing might vary slightly. Go on and pick political loyalty. This will help quite a bit with stability. Here we are going to pick if that's what it takes. Then as soon as this focus is done, we have enough army experience to add some support artillery to our infantry template. So let's go on and do that. At 100 political power, we're going to pick the infantry expert. Let's make sure that everybody is fully trained. If the last cavalry is not trained yet, though, you can stop training them, as very soon we will need to attack Yugoslavia. Here is our claim, it's time for war. And let's go. So war on Yugoslavia. And of course, Romania will join as well. As we start the war, we're going to immediately start the offensive with the infantry. But what really matters here is what you do with your cavalry. You want to find a weak spot in the front of Yugoslavia and you want to abuse it. Now, they seem to be fairly weak on this front, so we're going to start rushing here. Last stand is not ideal, but it's okay. As soon as you complete this focus, you can pick the Army Offense Expert. Okay, this is great. We got a breakthrough in here. Now let's keep rushing, especially with the cavalry. Send additional cavalry in this area. It's very important that we abuse any gap we can create in their front. They actually don't have enough divisions to counter us. So the only important thing is that you break through once. And then, yes, we need a little bit of micro in this area. So use the cavalry to rush the victory points in here. And you can move all of your cavalry in this area now. When you got the gap, send all of your cavalry in here. And use them for the victory points. Do not worry about the front with Romania. You will suffer a lot in there. It's actually good if they push a little bit. It will make it easier for us to push them here. Now, one recommendation I have is do not push Yugoslavia all the way to the border with Romania. In this way, Romania will not send divisions to the border. So just focus on the victory points when you break through in here. Like in this case, for example, push here, push to Bulgaria. But do not push all the way to Romania. Maybe check out the unedited version if you want to see the micro carefully. Not that I'm doing anything crazy, to be honest. You could be playing these a lot better than me. I just from time to time shift click with the cavalry. This is looking very good though. We got all of them stuck in here and we are able so far to rush victory points quite efficiently. I think we got it here. Let's see. Yeah, that's the case. So Yugoslavia is down. As you can see, we were quite fast. Try to micro a little bit because you want this done fast. And peace conference time. In the peace conference, we want to annex this area here. So all the way down to Serbia, Montenegro excluded. This part we annex. The remaining part we balkanize. And that's the perfect definition in the area. So you split them into as many small puppets as possible. You don't want any Yugoslavia puppet. So if you did everything correctly, it should look like this. And then of course take war reparations and resource rights as well. And let's confirm. And we want to be fast because we need to take care of Romania, and Romania can be annoying if you don't take care of them fast. So once again, cavalry is our best friend, and the open spot in Romania is right here. Most of their army is pushing us here, so they don't have divisions down here. So send all of the cavalry here and plan an offensive, and then send all of the infantry in this area here, and also plan an offensive with them. We're also going to use our spy to increase the spy network, get some bonuses just in case we get stuck in there. So make sure they're using trains and start pushing with the mountaineers. They're in a very tough spot. It's okay, we just want them to be distracted. Also try to rush this area here because this one is a hub. So if you can take it fast, that's great. And then immediately go for Bucharest. The artillery MIO. As soon as you complete the basic medium tank research, it is time to design our new tanks. And this is the design we are going for this time. To save it, and we're going to start producing it. We want all future factories to go to it. And we want the artillery to go down to only 2 factories. Meanwhile, we are being fairly successful in Romania. I'm a bit worried about Cluj because we need it and they are last standing, which is annoying. But we are doing very good in the south at least. Yeah, definitely a bit unlucky with Cluj. Sometimes it goes down a lot faster, but we may be able to win even without it if we take a victory point in here. Let's see. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, so even without Cluj, if you micro your cavalry decently enough, nothing too difficult again. You will take down Romania smoothly and fast as well. In the peace conference, we want to puppet Moldova, and then we're going to simply annex all of Romania and take their navy. Let's confirm. And this is very, very good news for us. Now, it is May 1938, and ideally you want to get this done around May, July 1938. So there is a little bit of range in which you can get this done. The faster, the better, of course. Because as soon as this is done, you can immediately go here and restore the Austro-Hungarian Empire. This is huge because we get immediately cores on all of these states. So we want to change all of the cavalry to infantry, and if you lost one, like in my case, let's also recruit an additional one to cover for that. And then you want to recruit in any case another 24 infantry divisions. Don't worry about manpower, we just code everything, so we'll get it in a bit. Now we want to go into the special anti-Anschluss measures, and we want to pick the emergency fortification efforts. And then we want to build forts at the border with Germany. So we want max forts in here, 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 and here. We are going to ignore this area, and we want max forts in here as well. These must be our highest priority, so bring them to the top of the queue. Now we're going to start spying on Germany in this area, because our first push against them will be in here. And against Germany we are going to use two different marshals. So we are going to split this army of infantry into two groups. One with our Dr. Lothar and the other one with Friedrich. Now for now we will assign these guys to this front here, and they can help defend it. But later on we are going to use one of these two armies to push into Germany. The cavalry army, which is now a new infantry army, will cover this part of the border. We're going to split off these divisions from here, and all of the mountaineers will be in a fallback line in here. So for these armies we are going to prioritize the defensive traits, and these guys will later on become a new full army, and they will cover this part of the border. We can use this field marshal for them, he's pretty good defensively. And while we wait and get ready for Germany, make sure to train everyone. As soon as you complete this research, you want to start producing anti-air. We're going to dedicate 3 factories to it, and we're going to take them away from tanks. And then we want to start building some anti-air in these provinces here, and these must be our priority. We also want to go into the special decisions, and we want to pick this special decision in the same 4 provinces. The order does not matter, but you cannot do them all at once. It takes 30 days for each. Do not forget about them. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. We also want to force deploy all of our infantry, and then recruit enough infantry to have another full army in here. So in my case, that's 21 infantry divisions. Now, in terms of buildings, from now on, after this anti-air is done, you can just prioritize military factories in the best provinces. We're not going to mention that anymore. You can now also pick the Grand Battle Plan Expert, force deploy all divisions as soon as possible, assign them to the dedicated army, and make sure everybody is trained. Let's also take the first Grand Battle Plan Doctrine at this point. And then we are going to make some important changes to our infantry template. We're going to duplicate it, and we're going to create off. The final goal for this template is to look like this. As you can see, we don't have enough army experience yet, so we can finish it later. Maybe without the tanks, we can do it. Yeah, so we will add the tanks later as soon as possible. Make sure to also add the support anti-air in here. We can save these for now, also make it elite. And we're going to change the first 12 inf into off. Of course, this means that you will need to train them more as well. When you get this event, pick get rid of the traitor. Now, normally at this point, Germany would have attacked us, but the new strategy, without creating the central powers and resisting with the Anschluss, makes it so that they attack us a bit later, which is actually quite convenient as it gives us more time to prepare. By the way, our final army positioning for Germany is the following. The mountaineers in here. The infantry armies, the 2 that will be offensive, can cover this front, in which we will be under a lot of pressure. Then we have a full 24 army to cover north and western front, another 24 army to cover this front, and the last 24 army I usually start on the left side, and then I move them around to follow the German force concentrations, so sometimes you need to move them to protect this front, although usually this front is a bit easier to defend. Now we have enough army experience to add tanks here. Let's do it. After you're done with the state garrison decisions, you can pick the emergency military factory construction. And after that, as soon as possible, you want to go for the recruitment push. We need to get ready for the Anschluss, which will be quite soon. Now we can also pick the concealment specialist. It will help a bit with the German air superiority. Now make sure that your planes are not assigned to the army. We don't want them to be completely wiped by the Germans, and there is no point in fighting them in the early stages of the war. Okay, now we can pick the recruitment push. Also, let's make sure to add the medium tanks. I'm a bit late here. We still lack the tanks, so that's okay. As soon as the recruitment push is done, proceed to change the conscription law to extensive conscription. And now it's time to get ready because Germany is coming for us. Now, of course, we are not going to accept the Anschluss, otherwise it's GG. We're going to defend against Germany. After all, we are the better Germans. Now, as soon as Germany declares war on us, we're going to start justifying a retake core claim on Italy, and then we just need to defend. It looks like Germany is pushing hard on this front first, so I'm going to reassign the army, the flexible army that I was mentioning, to that area. Just in case, but we have a lot of good modifiers, so it should be fine. Just keep in mind that if you lose any tile along the entire border, it's absolutely GG. You cannot save it anymore. So you need to defend last stand if you need to, but don't lose any tile. We're actually very happy that Germany is crashing into our forts. We just don't want to lose them. And by the way, of course, Germany has the air everywhere, but they're actually losing a lot of their planes, a lot of their support planes, to our static anti-air, which is actually amazing. It means that later on, when we finally attack them, they will be much weaker. We got a claim on Italy, but we're not going to use it just yet. I love that the Germans don't even want to take this area. Okay, I see that your force concentration is in there, but there is nobody here. Just take it. Okay, you can see them moving, right? You can see they don't have that many divisions here anymore. They have more divisions in here. But this is a good time to counter their force concentration and move our divisions as well. Now, in terms of army experience, prioritize the logistical focus first. And you can also always pick aircrew surveys and centralized control. Later on, you can pick quick improvisation in here, and then you can continue with the grand battle plan doctrines. Okay, what you don't want to do is you don't want to push them. So stop, and we are very happy. No, don't push. We're very happy with them taking this area. This is exactly what we wanted. At 150 political power, we're going to pick the amazing telephone company. At 50 political power, we're going to pick the war bonds. And now ideally we want to start moving our offensive divisions in position to attack Germany. The first push will be from this side, and the main goal is to follow this railway here. And we want to take Nuremberg. We do want the railway. And then we want to take Regensburg. We're doing actually really good, so we're almost ready in terms of tanks. So we're a bit ahead of time here. But I will, for the sake of consistency, I will still wait a little bit before we attack them. And we're still very happy for them to crash into our forts. Look at the casualties so far. 11k versus 206k. And this is, of course, with full air superiority on their side. At 150 political power, we're going to pick the monarchist treasurer. That's not particularly relevant, but I usually use that as the sign that it is time to push into Germany. Around this time, there is a bit of RNG, but you should more or less have enough tanks. We actually have more than enough. You should be fine in terms of equipment, and your divisions should be fully trained and with full planning. So it is time for the offensive. For this offensive, we are going to use our few planes. They will not last very long, but they will help us in the early stages, at least a little bit. Now, we want to slow down the speed because we need to micro at least a little bit. We need to make sure that we take this railway, otherwise this hub will not be connected and we will not get any supplies. Now, our tanks are really amazing, so these divisions will be able to push into the Germans. And the good news is they have a lot of divisions down here. This is a bit of RNG because sometimes they are force concentrating in here. And if you push in here, you don't get to kill these divisions. Right now, it seems like we may be able to, if we are lucky. So let's see how it goes. Very, very happy with what I'm seeing at the moment. The Germans are suffering big time. Use at least one of the defensive armies to cover this part of the front. You don't want to lose any tile in here. Ooh, amazing. We got Nuremberg. It may be time to reorganize a little bit in here. Of course, the idea and the goal in here is to cut off the Germans by reaching the border with France. Then there is Italy as well, but it's only one tile, and the Mountaineers can usually take it. If you manage to do this correctly, the Germans will be in big, big trouble. And we can start planning another offensive of this kind. Ideally, we don't want to lose this railway, so I will use a last stand in here, see if I can maybe defend it. Big push. We got to the border with France. Germany is in big, big trouble now. Now, the Germans can still get away from here, so it's time to look into options with the Mountaineers. Let's try to give them a front line in here, and ideally, let's try to push in here. Let's see if it's possible. If you time it right, it should be possible. Finally, we got them here. Some of them probably escaped, but we did get quite a lot of them. Very nice. Decent encirclement, and these guys are gone. We can now pick the fascist advocate, and we can now change another 12 infantry divisions into offensive divisions. We will lock the tanks, but we will get them over time. We're also going to decrease the production of support equip to 5 and increase the production of infantry equip to 25. And we're going to take those from our tanks. Can these guys die? Any reason they are immortal? We still have some time to have fun with the Germans, and I think we have enough time to get another big encirclement, or not so big in here, and kill some more of them. But then before March 1940 we need to attack Italy, otherwise they will be guaranteed by Japan, which is not fun. We're going to prepare our army in here, and we're going to prepare to push the Germans here. I'm already preparing the second tank army at the border with Zara, so later on I can push into Italy. Actually, this encirclement looks possibly bigger than the previous one. A bit painful, maybe. Definitely more painful for them than for me. Just in time, disintegrated the Germans here. Perfect. Now it's time for Italy. We can make a few changes here in the sense that we can now use a Marshal command to cover the entire front against Germany. This should make it a little bit easier to manage. Can also give them an offensive line. As for Italy, we are just going to use these two armies. These guys can train a little bit more, and these guys need to hurry and get down here, as we will push Italy from here. Now check the timing, because if you were a bit slower than me in here, you may not have enough time to get this encirclement. The priority is to attack Italy before March. So we just made it in time, but that's not always the case. Now, when we attack Italy, we will lose some war support, so let's pick utilize domestic film industry as well. And the other thing we need to be careful about is the sea. Of course, we don't have the navy to contest Italy, so we can block all sea regions. We can also block all of these sea regions in here. We just don't want any trouble. Okay, this army is ready. This army is still training, but that's okay. They can push here even while training, you will see. So I think we are ready for Italy. War on Italy. Let's manually push in here, and let's push in here. Also in here we need to be careful. We want to rush Venezia. It's very important that we take it quickly. Otherwise, if you run out of supplies in here, you can have some issues. And here you can see my training divisions disintegrating the Italians. But Italy is holding up their reputation, and they are getting completely destroyed. Okay, these guys are not trained yet, but now we need to stop training them because I want to use them to push a bit faster in southern Italy. So we're going to use both armies in here. Yeah, now they're just falling apart. It almost looks like me when I was playing Black Ice. We still have some divisions. Let's look at the casualties, by the way, at this point. So we took 107,000, but Germany took over 1 million, and Italy is at 190,000. Civil war in Italy. Let's slow down the speed. Hopefully I will get the transfer territory. That's actually quite important. Come on, game. Don't get bugged. Fuck you. Incredibly annoying stuff. But that's okay. For this strategy, we often don't annex Italy anyway. So when this bug happens, let's be clear about that. So you don't get the message to transfer territory. Italy capitulates too fast. You can more or less still fix it by going here and give control of state. And you can give them control of most states, but not all of them. So you need to check which ones they will accept, which ones they will refuse. Yeah, so it should be possible to do it like this. It's not as good as when you transfer territory, but it's good enough. And then as always, after you take down Italy, you always want to build in Italy to decrease their autonomy. Now we're going to increase the production of trains to 2, as at this point of the run you often lock them. And we do indeed lock them. And well, then there is only Germany to take care of. We can probably merge these two armies back into one, and we can go for one big push into Germany. If you want to speed it up, of course, you can push with everyone. If you want to preserve manpower, not that you need to, you can push only with tanks. That's entirely up to you. We're going to push only with tanks because I think we are perfectly in time. After all, we did kick their ass earlier quite significantly, so they cannot pose too much of a resistance to us right now. when it comes to Grand Battle Plan, both paths, Assault and Infiltration, are really good in single player. Infiltration is a bit easier to use in the sense that you don't need to worry about planning, and you get this very nice Land Knight attack modifier. Of course, on the left you have a couple more advantages. You get more planning, and you also get the tactic breakthrough, which you do not get on the right side. But both work very, very good. Germany not giving up at all. But now they need to give up. And these are the final stats for us, boys. 127,000 casualties versus 1.8 million. Germany is down. In the end, it is 100% for us. How cool is that? So in the peace conference, first of all, we're going to annex Germany entirely, and we're going to take their navy as well. The navy is, of course, very, very important. When it comes to Italy, you can give back to Regno del Sud most of their cores in Italy, but some of these cores are also our cores, so I would recommend annexing them for ourselves instead. And what we want to do is we want to puppet... oh, they already have this stuff as Regno del Sud. Okay, if you can puppet these areas here, usually you can if they are not bugged. And, of course, take the Italian navy, very important. Let's confirm. And let's be very happy. Now that this is done, now that Germany is down, you can proceed to bypass this focus. And you can pick the better German state, which is the title of this video as well. But we are not done quite yet. Now, we want to upgrade the agency, specifically the naval department, and we want to start spying on the UK. We're also going to change our offensive template to 11-4, so we keep the same width, but we add one more tank battalion in it. Then we're going to make some changes to our infantry. We're going to add the support anti-air, and we're going to make sure that everyone in here is in the right infantry template, including the mountaineers. We don't need them anymore. Let's turn them into infantry. We are going to push the Netherlands with our offensive divisions in here. We're going to leave one infantry army here at the border with Poland to push into Poland. Another infantry army will be at the border with France just to cover this front. Another army will be here to push into Poland. And the remaining units will be here to push into Poland. It's good that Belgium joined the Allies because sometimes they don't. And as we complete this focus, we are going to pick in due time, which allows us to integrate all of Germany. It will take a while and quite a lot of political power. As you can see, we got these new special decisions. But for 100 political power each, we can fully integrate all of Germany into the Austrian Empire. Now, at this point, we usually want to justify on Belgium and the Netherlands. I usually do both at the same time, starting with Belgium because it takes longer. However, in this case, they both already joined the Allies. This is the safe strategy. Just in case they don't join the Allies, you want both of them. If you don't need both of them, of course, you don't need the two justifications, and you can just make one on the Netherlands or on Belgium. It's also a good idea to check the situation in Italy and see how close we are to make them into an integrated puppet. Unfortunately, we need to make them into an integrated puppet and then we need to annex them, so there are still 2 steps to go for here. Let's justify on the Netherlands, but keep in mind that we might not be able to annex Italy entirely. What's the disadvantage of that? Well, we don't get their full navy, we just get part of their navy. But honestly, we have a navy that is large enough to get the supremacy against the UK, so it doesn't matter if you don't get the other half of Italy. Now we're going to move the fleet up here, and then we're going to start integrating the German states. Of course, starting from the richest ones. You can check them one by one, but usually this area is the most developed. Okay, we can now reduce the autonomy of Italy to integrated puppet. Of course, we need 200 political power to fully annex them. When the Soviet Union demands Bessarabia, we're just going to give it to them. So now it's hopeless. Make sure to upgrade the tank as soon as you get the new howitzer. And then convert them from stockpiles. Will be much faster. So we got our claim on the Netherlands, and it looks like with Italy it's going to be tough because we still need quite a lot of points. Yeah, so I would say this is entirely up to you. If you feel like you need the Italian Navy, wait a bit longer and annex them before declaring war on the Allies. Of course, if you do it after declaring war on the Allies, it's a bit of a problem because you cannot go through Gibraltar. So even if you get the Italian Navy, you cannot use it. But if you have a navy about this big, it should be no problem to take down the UK. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. So in my case, I will ignore Italy and go after the UK. Now we actually got the logistics company and I want to add it to our offensive template. So war on the Netherlands, of course everybody will join. And if everything is correct, we should also be able to get a claim on Poland in 10 days. So wait until the UK joins and then let's make sure, yeah, it's only 10 days. So let's get Poland as well. We don't want to use these for supplies, so make sure to close it entirely. But leave this one open for supplying this army here. You all know it already, the only challenging part of this war will be invading the UK. Everything else is pretty much a joke. Okay, Netherlands down. Belgium is down. I'm going to attack Poland because if we don't do it, the Soviet Union will do it and steal part of our war score, and that's not very cool. So let's just attack Poland. This means we will take some casualties because we can only push them with infantry, but that's okay. And since we're here, I'm also going to take Luxembourg. Paris is down, so I expect France will be down soon as well. Come on, France, come on. Nice job. Now, we still need to wait 18 days for the landing craft, so I'm thinking maybe we can just quickly push Poland with this army. This is not something you usually do. The infantry is enough to do that. We want to move our fleet to Dunkirk in any case. Now we can leave one army to area defense in France. And Poland is down as well. That's great. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. We can now worry about planning our naval invasion of the UK. Landing craft, which means we can invade the UK. So the plan is simple. It's the usual one. We're going from Dunkirk, groups of 4 to this area here. And then again, groups of 4 from here. Portsmouth, this province, and this province. You have seen this millions of times, but I must say that the most comments I still get on all of my videos are, I cannot invade the UK, how do you do it? To get the UK invaded, we are going to use all of our planes as well. So let's deploy all of the few planes that we have available, set them on air superiority, naval strike, send them all to Calais. They might not be required, but just in case, let's send them there. Then we're going to split our submarines into small groups, very small groups, like groups of 2. And very soon we'll set them on convoy raiding around the UK. The rest of the fleet all together in here will be on naval supremacy. This always works. It's incredibly consistent. Now, we made these potentially a bit harder because when Poland is alive, the UK sends some divisions to Poland. In this case, I do expect the UK to have a lot of divisions in the mainland. Okay, we got the invasion ready, so it's time to see if my tactic works, and it always does. So convoy raiding around the UK. Just set the submarines on never repair though, when you do that. And now it is time to set the rest of the fleet on naval invasion support. Let's see if we get Green Sea right away. We don't get Green Sea right away, okay. Let's unlock this area and let's use all planes on air superiority, naval strike in there. That will give us a green air. It's still not enough, however. We are very close, but it's still not enough. And you will see how the strategy works. So let's keep it here. And see, immediately we got Green Sea. Now we got Green Sea barely at this point. You can see it's only 50.9%. And that's a combination of the airplanes on air supremacy, Green Sea in here. The submarines destructing them. By the way, if we didn't get Green Sea that fast, we would still get it after a while because the UK cannot sustain this fight for that long. And then don't forget the spy. The spy is actually very important. You can see here we get naval supremacy scaled to 98% because of low enemy intel. That's actually a lot, so we get most of it thanks to the spy. Without the spy, we wouldn't be able to get Green Sea this fast. You still get it, but a bit later. Now, when you get Green Sea like this, it doesn't matter how long it lasts. You just need it for 1 second. The second that you need to click here and trigger your naval invasion. You see the divisions are leaving the harbor? Now, whatever happens now does not matter. In fact, you can split these into a few groups and you can set them on never repair, always engage. This will ensure that your divisions are a bit more protected while invading the UK. Okay, we now got the special project. That's slightly late, but we're going to start making these armored support vehicles anyways. We're going to set them at 50 and we're going to take them from tanks. Now, second phase of the invasion, it's time to disembark. If it seems like you're going to struggle, use a force attack. That wasn't the case here, but I did it anyway, just in case. As soon as you disembark, do not waste time. Now, they have a lot of divisions. You can see that they have divisions in this case. So this can be tricky. We don't want to waste any time. We want to immediately rush the coastline. First of all, we need to take it as fast as possible. Then you want to go around the area of London quickly. See, look at the divisions they have in here. They have a lot of divisions right now. So this might be a challenging invasion, which is fun, which is good. We can now also use the planes to support our invasion. If we can encircle London quickly enough, that's going to be great. I'm still looking for a big encirclement in here, and I think we might have just gotten it. Look at this. Amazing stuff. Now they do have a lot of divisions, but they are in big trouble. Now, of course, the final point for this invasion to be successful is to use good divisions. These divisions are incredibly good, so they make everything much, much easier. Yeah, it's a lot of divisions that are going to die very, very quickly as well. We can now finally fix and clean this mess and just a regular offensive line. We'll do the trick at this point. We did the hard work already. But still, you need to be fast because the UK is still sending back divisions. So if you don't take them down fast, they will have a lot more divisions than these in just a few days. Ooh, another big encirclement. It's actually fun because the UK spawns a lot of divisions in here. It's very fun to disintegrate all of them like we are doing now. Yeah, then if we check the casualties at this point, 67,000, as you can see, all of them to Poland, because in Poland we pushed without using our armored divisions. So you can see the difference actually. The UK we completely disintegrated, 366,000 casualties with only 12,000 on our part. Poland is where we took all of the casualties. That's the difference between pushing with good divisions and not good divisions. Also, you can see how the submarines are doing an amazing job in here, keeping busy like huge fleets. And also allowing us to get supplies through the channel, which is amazing. And now let's rush the final victory points and end this war. Yeah, one is enough. Newcastle will be enough. Time for the peace conference. Time to rejoice. There we go. Done. So since we attacked Poland early, we have a huge share of the war score. Only 9% to the Soviet Union, which means, in my opinion, we can take probably everything we want. Maybe we can leave Poland to the Soviet Union, or we can just annex a little bit so that we do not have this area separated from the rest. Other than that, I would just recommend puppeting plus basically everything. And keep about 4,000 points in the 5th round of the conference for the Royal Navy. You want to take all of it. As usual, if you plan to invade the US, annex these two provinces here. They can be very convenient. So since we haven't annexed Italy yet, so we can take their fleet, and we preserved most of our starting fleet, I decided to invest a bit more in more operations and resource rights, which means we cannot take the entire Royal Navy, but we can still get a good chunk of it. I'd say we are pretty happy with this. We can confirm. Alright boys, it is March 1941 and we made Austria. Absolutely insane. This is what we control directly or indirectly through our puppets. Of course, this means that our trade will not be a problem anymore for the rest of the game. 835 factories. Considering where we started, it's quite insane how powerful Austria can become. And the amazing thing about Fascist Austria is we have a lot more potential. We can defeat RNG by just justifying claims. We can keep justifying claims later on. And all of the puppets we get start as integrated puppets, which is absolutely amazing. So the non-aligned version of this guide would get a lot less from all of these puppets. This is as powerful as you can make Austria. Or is it? It might very well be, but I found out something quite interesting about the non-aligned version of this guide, which means we may dedicate another video to it in future. Let me show you a little spoiler. And here we go, familiar landscape, but different colors and a different flag. This is a secret path you can unlock for Austria if you go for the Habsburg version. Now, the fascist version of the guide is still better in my opinion, as it takes a few more focuses to get to this point. But there is something incredibly cool about this, and that's the fact that in decisions you unlock the possibility to revive the Holy Roman Empire. You basically get a few more cores in northern Italy, you get Corsica and Sardinia, you get to core Belgium and the Netherlands, and you get to core Switzerland. So that's actually not bad, although you do get to this point a bit later. This is not optimized at all, I was just doing a test run, so you can get this a lot earlier than 1943. And if you guys are interested, please let me know in the comments and I will make a dedicated guide for this secret path for Austria. It's interesting because I feel like I hated Austria so much at first, and now it's probably one of the countries that got the most country guides from me. We did the democratic version, we did the Habsburg version, now we are doing the fascist version, and in future we might do the Liechtenstein version plus the Holy Roman Empire. I think that's a pretty cool idea, but maybe not right away. Let's give it a break for now. Let's focus on something else. As you know, I'm working on the fascist UK, and Yugoslavia won the last country poll, so I'm also working on a Yugoslavia guide. But that's really all for this video. All of these guides will be coming soon, so make sure to keep following the channel. And if you enjoyed the content I make, please do not forget to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and leaving me a comment. Let me know in the comments if you want to see this guide happen. That would be fun. And what you thought about our amazing fascist Austria run. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon in the next video. Bye bye!